1 Corinthians 7. Now concerning the things of which you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to his wife the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. But I say this as a concession, not as a commandment. But I speak this by permission, and not of commandment. For I wish that all men were even as I myself. But each one has his own gift from God, one in this manner and another in that. For I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner, and another after that. But I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they remain even as I am. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot exercise self-control, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Now to the married I command, yet not I but the Lord, a wife is not to depart from her husband. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. But even if she does depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. And a husband is not to divorce his wife. But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest I, not the Lord, say, if any brother has a wife who does not believe, and she is willing to live with him, let him not divorce her. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord, if any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And a woman who has a husband who does not believe, if he is willing to live with her, let her not divorce him. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband, otherwise your children would be unclean, but now they are holy. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband, else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. But if the unbeliever departs, let him depart, a brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases. But God has called us to peace. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace. For how do you know, O wife, whether you will save your husband? Or how do you know, O husband, whether you will save your wife? For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as God has distributed to each one, as the Lord has called each one, so let him walk. And so I ordain in all the churches. But as God hath distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called every one, so let him walk. And so ordain I in all churches. Was anyone called while circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Was anyone called while uncircumcised? Let him not be circumcised. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called an uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing, but keeping the commandments of God is what matters. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God. Let each one remain in the same calling in which he was called. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Were you called while a slave? Do not be concerned about it, but if you can be made free, rather use it. Art thou called being a servant? Care not for it, but if thou mayest be made free, use it rather. For he who is called in the Lord while a slave is the Lord's freedman. Likewise he who is called while free is Christ's slave. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman, likewise also he that is called, being free, is Christ's servant. You were bought at a price, do not become slaves of men. Ye are bought with a price, be not ye the servants of men. Brethren, let each one remain with God in that state in which he was called. Brethren, let every man, wherein he is called, therein abide with God. Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment from the Lord, yet I give judgment as one whom the Lord in his mercy has made trustworthy. Now concerning virgins I have no commandment of the Lord, yet I give my judgment, as one that hath obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful. I suppose therefore that this is good because of the present distress, that it is good for a man to remain as he is. I suppose therefore that this is good for the present distress, I say, that it is good for a man so to be. Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be loosed. Are you loosed from a wife? Do not seek a wife. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. But even if you do marry, you have not sinned, and if a virgin marries, she has not sinned. Nevertheless such will have trouble in the flesh, but I would spare you. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, so that from now on even those who have wives should be as though they had none. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they had none. Those who weep as though they did not weep, those who rejoice as though they did not rejoice, those who buy as though they did not possess. And they that weep, as though they wept not, and they that rejoice, as though they rejoiced not, and they that buy, as though they possessed not. And those who use this world as not misusing it. For the form of this world is passing away. And they that use this world, as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. But I want you to be without care. He who is unmarried cares for the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he who is married cares about the things of the world, how he may please his wife. But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. There is a difference between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cares about the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she who is married cares about the things of the world, how she may please her husband. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit, but she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. And this I say for your own profit, not that I may put a leash on you, but for what is proper, and that you may serve the Lord without distraction. And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. But if any man thinks he is behaving improperly toward his virgin, if she is past the flower of youth, and thus it must be, let him do what he wishes. He does not sin, let them marry. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. Nevertheless he who stands steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but has power over his own will, and has so determined in his heart that he will keep his virgin, does well. Nevertheless he that standeth steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but hath power over his own will, and hath so decreed in his heart that he will keep his virgin, doeth well. So then he who gives her in marriage does well, but he who does not give her in marriage does better. So then he that giveth her in marriage doeth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doeth better. A wife is bound by law as long as her husband lives, but if her husband dies, she is at liberty to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth, but if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. But she is happier if she remains as she is, according to my judgment, and I think I also have the Spirit of God. But she is happier if she so abide, after my judgment, and I think also that I have the Spirit of God. 1 Corinthians 8. Now concerning things offered to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love edifies. Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if anyone thinks that he knows anything, he knows nothing yet as he ought to know. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know. But if anyone loves God, this one is known by him. But if any man love God, the same is known of him. Therefore concerning the eating of things offered to idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is no other God but one. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one. For even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as there are many gods and many lords. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many, yet for us there is one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we for him, and one Lord Jesus Christ, through whom are all things, and through whom we live. But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him. However, there is not in everyone that knowledge, for some, with consciousness of the idol, until now eat it as a thing offered to an idol, and their conscience, being weak, is defiled. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But food does not commend us to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, nor if we do not eat are we the worse. But meat commendeth us not to God, for neither, if we eat, are we the better, neither, if we eat not, are we the worse. But beware lest somehow this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to those who are weak. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. For if anyone sees you who have knowledge eating in an idol's temple, will not the conscience of him who is weak be emboldened to eat those things offered to idols? For if any man see thee which hast knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And because of your knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died? And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died? But when you thus sin against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience, you sin against Christ. But when ye sin so against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Christ. Therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I will never again eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble. Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. Numbers 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, who went out of the land of Egypt by their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. Now Moses wrote down the starting points of their journeys at the command of the Lord. And these are their journeys according to their starting points. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord, and these are their journeys according to their goings out. They departed from Ramesses in the 1st month, on the 15th day of the 1st month. On the day after the Passover the children of Israel went out with boldness in the sight of all the Egyptians. And they departed from Ramesses in the 1st month, on the 15th day of the 1st month. On the morrow after the Passover the children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. For the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had killed among them. Also on their gods the Lord had executed judgments. For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them, upon their gods also the Lord executed judgments. Then the children of Israel moved from Ramesses and camped at Succos. And the children of Israel removed from Ramesses, and pitched in Succos. They departed from Succos and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they departed from Succos, and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. They moved from Etham and turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which is east of Baal-zephon, and they camped near Migdol. And they removed from Etham, and turned again unto Pi-hahiroth, which is before Baal-zephon, and they pitched before Migdol. They departed from before Hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and camped at Marah. And they departed from before Pi-hahiroth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Marah. They moved from Marah and came to Elim. At Elim were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, so they camped there. And they removed from Marah, and came unto Elim, and in Elim were 12 fountains of water, and 60 palm trees, and they pitched there. They moved from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. And they removed from Elim and encamped by the Red Sea. They moved from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. And they removed from the Red Sea, and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. They journeyed from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin, and encamped in Dophkah. They departed from Dophkah and camped at Elush. And they departed from Dophkah, and encamped in Elush. They moved from Elush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. And they removed from Elush, and encamped at Rephidim, where was no water for the people to drink. They departed from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they departed from Rephidim, and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai. They moved from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth-hattaavah. And they removed from the desert of Sinai, and pitched at Kibroth-hattaavah. They departed from Kibroth-hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. And they departed from Kibroth-hattaavah, and encamped at Hazeroth. They departed from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. And they departed from Hazeroth, and pitched in Rithmah. They departed from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon-Perez. And they departed from Rithmah, and pitched at Rimmon-Perez. They departed from Rimmon-Perez and camped at Libnah. And they departed from Rimmon-Perez, and pitched in Libnah. They moved from Libnah and camped at Rissah. And they removed from Libnah, and pitched at Rissah. They journeyed from Rissah and camped at Kehelatha. And they journeyed from Rissah, and pitched in Kehelatha. They went from Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shepher. And they went from Kehelatha, and pitched in Mount Shepher. They moved from Mount Shepher and camped at Harada. And they removed from Mount Shepher, and encamped in Harada. They moved from Harada and camped at Makaloth. And they removed from Harada, and pitched in Makaloth. They moved from Makaloth and camped at Tahath. And they removed from Makaloth, and encamped at Tahath. They departed from Tahath and camped at Turah. And they departed from Tahath, and pitched at Terah. They moved from Turah and camped at Mithkah. And they removed from Terah, and pitched in Mithkah. They went from Mithkah and camped at Hashmanah. And they went from Mithkah, and pitched in Hashmanah. They departed from Hashmanah and camped at Mosroth. And they departed from Hashmanah, and encamped at Mosroth. They departed from Mosroth and camped at Bene-Jaakan. And they departed from Mosroth, and pitched in Bene-Jaakan. They moved from Bene-Jaakan and camped at Hor-Haggidgad. And they removed from Bene-Jaakan, and encamped at Hor-Haggidgad. They went from Hor-Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. And they went from Hor-Haggidgad, and pitched in Jotbatha. They moved from Jotbatha and camped at Abrona. And they removed from Jotbatha, and encamped at Abrona. They departed from Abrona and camped at Ezion-Geber. And they departed from Abrona, and encamped at Ezion-Geber. They moved from Ezion-Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Ezion-Geber, and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. They moved from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the boundary of the land of Edom. And they removed from Kadesh, and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. Then Aaron the priest went up to Mount Hor at the command of the Lord, and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt, on the 1st day of the 5th month. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of the Lord, and died there, in the 40th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 1st day of the 5th month. Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. Now the king of Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. So they departed from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. And they departed from Mount Hor, and pitched in Zalmonah. They departed from Zalmonah and camped at Punon. And they departed from Zalmonah, and pitched in Punon. They departed from Punon and camped at Oboth. And they departed from Punon, and pitched in Oboth. They departed from Oboth and camped at Ijeabarim at the border of Moab. And they departed from Oboth, and pitched in Ijeabarim in the border of Moab. They departed from Ijim and camped at Dibon-gad. And they departed from Iim and pitched in Dibon-gad. They moved from Dibon-gad and camped at Almon-Diblathaim. And they removed from Dibon-gad, and encamped in Almon-Diblatham. They moved from Almon-Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim, before Nebo. And they removed from Almon-Diblatham, and pitched in the mountains of Abarim, before Nebo. They departed from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim, and pitched in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. They camped by the Jordan, from Beth Jezimoth as far as the Abel Acacia Grove in the plains of Moab. And they pitched by Jordan, from Beth Jeshimoth even unto Abel-Shittim in the plains of Moab. Now the Lord spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying. Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you have crossed the Jordan into the land of Canaan. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan. Then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, destroy all their engraved stones, destroy all their molded images, and demolish all their high places. Then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. You shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land and dwell in it, for I have given you the land to possess. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. And you shall divide the land by lot as an inheritance among your families, to the larger you shall give a larger inheritance, and to the smaller you shall give a smaller inheritance, there everyone's inheritance shall be whatever falls to him by lot. You shall inherit according to the tribes of your fathers. And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families, and to the more ye shall give the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance, every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falleth, according to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall be that those whom you let remain shall be irritants in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall harass you in the land where you dwell. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass, that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell. Moreover it shall be that I will do to you as I thought to do to them. Moreover it shall come to pass, that I shall do unto you, as I thought to do unto them. Numbers 34. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. Command the children of Israel, and say to them, when you come into the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan to its boundaries. Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye come into the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall unto you for an inheritance, even the land of Canaan with the coasts thereof. Your southern border shall be from the wilderness of Zin along the border of Edom, then your southern border shall extend eastward to the end of the salt sea. Then your south quarter shall be from the wilderness of Zin along by the coast of Edom, and your south border shall be the outmost coast of the salt sea eastward. Your border shall turn from the southern side of the ascent of Akrabim, continue to Zin, and be on the south of Kadesh Barnea, then it shall go on to Hazar Adar, and continue to Asmon. And your border shall turn from the south to the ascent of Akrabim, and pass on to Zin, and the going forth thereof shall be from the south to Kadesh Barnea, and shall go on to Hazeradar, and pass on to Asman. The border shall turn from Asman to the brook of Egypt, and it shall end at the sea. And the border shall fetch a compass from Asman unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of it shall be at the sea. As for the western border, you shall have the great sea for a border, this shall be your western border. And as for the western border, ye shall even have the great sea for a border, this shall be your west border. And this shall be your northern border, from the great sea you shall mark out your border line to Mount Hor. And this shall be your north border, from the great sea ye shall point out for you Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you shall mark out your border to the entrance of Hamath, then the direction of the border shall be toward Zedad. From Mount Hor ye shall point out your border unto the entrance of Hamath, and the goings forth of the border shall be to Zedad. The border shall proceed to Ziphron, and it shall end at Hazar-Enan. This shall be your northern border. And the border shall go on to Ziphron, and the goings out of it shall be at Hazarenan, this shall be your north border. You shall mark out your eastern border from Hazar-Enan to Shepham. And ye shall point out your east border from Hazarenan to Shepham. The border shall go down from Shepham to Riblah on the east side of Ain, the border shall go down and reach to the eastern side of the Sea of Chinnereth. And the coast shall go down from Shepham to Riblah, on the east side of Ain, and the border shall descend, and shall reach unto the side of the Sea of Chinnereth eastward. The border shall go down along the Jordan, and it shall end at the Salt Sea. This shall be your land with its surrounding boundaries. And the border shall go down to Jordan, and the goings out of it shall be at the Salt Sea, this shall be your land with the coasts thereof round about. Then Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which you shall inherit by lot, which the Lord has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half-tribe. And Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which the Lord commanded to give unto the 9 tribes, and to the half-tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance, and the half-tribe of Manasseh has received its inheritance. For the tribe of the children of Reuben according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The 2 tribes and the half-tribe have received their inheritance on this side of the Jordan, across from Jericho eastward, toward the sunrise. The 2 tribes and the half-tribe have received their inheritance on this side Jordan near Jericho eastward, toward the sunrising. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. These are the names of the men who shall divide the land among you as an inheritance, Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun. These are the names of the men which shall divide the land unto you, Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. And you shall take 1 leader of every tribe to divide the land for the inheritance. And ye shall take 1 prince of every tribe, to divide the land by inheritance. These are the names of the men, from the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh. And the names of the men are these, of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of the children of Simeon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud. And of the tribe of the children of Simeon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud. From the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Chislon. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Chislon. A leader from the tribe of the children of Dan, Bucki the son of Jogli. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Dan, Bucki the son of Jogli. From the sons of Joseph, a leader from the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Haniel the son of Ephod. The prince of the children of Joseph, for the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Haniel the son of Ephod. And a leader from the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel the son of Shifton. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel the son of Shifton. A leader from the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elizaphan the son of Parnak. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elizaphan the son of Parnak. A leader from the tribe of the children of Issachar, Paltiel the son of Azan. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Issachar, Paltiel the son of Azan. A leader from the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud the son of Shalomi. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud the son of Shalomi. And a leader from the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pedahel the son of Ammihud. And the prince of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pedahel the son of Ammihud. These are the ones the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance among the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. These are they whom the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance unto the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. Psalm 76. In Judah God is known, his name is great in Israel. To the chief musician on Neginoth, a psalm or song of Asaph. In Judah is God known, his name is great in Israel. In Salem also is his tabernacle, and his dwelling place in Zion. In Salem also is his tabernacle, and his dwelling place in Zion. There he broke the arrows of the bow, the shield and sword of battle, Selah. There brake he the arrows of the bow, the shield, and the sword, and the battle. Selah. You are more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. Thou art more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. The stout-hearted were plundered, they have sunk into their sleep, and none of the mighty men have found the use of their hands. The stout-hearted are spoiled, they have slept their sleep, and none of the men of might have found their hands. At your rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the chariot and horse were cast into a dead sleep. At thy rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the chariot and horse are cast into a dead sleep. You, yourself, are to be feared, and who may stand in your presence when once you are angry? Thou, even thou, art to be feared, and who may stand in thy sight when once thou art angry? You caused judgment to be heard from heaven, the earth feared and was still. Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from heaven, the earth feared, and was still. When God arose to judgment, to deliver all the oppressed of the earth, Selah. When God arose to judgment, to save all the meek of the earth. Selah. Surely the wrath of man shall praise you, with the remainder of wrath you shall gird yourself. Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee, the remainder of wrath shalt thou restrain. Make vows to the Lord your God, and pay them, let all who are around him bring presents to him who ought to be feared. Vow, and pay unto the Lord your God, let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. He shall cut off the spirit of princes, he is awesome to the kings of the earth. He shall cut off the spirit of princes, he is terrible to the kings of the earth.